Going on safari has been top of my bucket list for as long as I can remember. Seeing incredible wildlife in its natural habitat rather than in a zoo or man-made safari park always held some sort of magic for me. But safaris can be very expensive, especially if you don't do the proper research. So, in this video we'll show you how we did it on a budget, with the costs involved and a detailed rundown of everything we experienced along the way. When we first started looking into the idea, we did what most people do. We went to a travel agent. This is something we never normally do, but we didn't really know where to start, so we used this to get ideas. When they quoted us around 10 grand for a 1-week safari, our jaws hit the floor. So we opted to look into it ourselves and found a much cheaper, much more doable alternative that wouldn't bankrupt us but still ticked a lot of boxes. We decided to go to Kenya as it seemed a better option than somewhere more commercial like Kruger in South Africa and cheaper than the Serengeti in Tanzania. After browsing the web for what felt like months, we decided to go for a budget 6-day safari using Get Your Guide. Total cost for this was £2,063 for both of us, and the tour included all accommodation, transport and meals, so we thought it was a fairly good deal. We checked availability for the dates we wanted to go in January and compared this to flights available from the UK to Nairobi on Skyscanner. We found flights that aligned and paid £1,295 for both of us for return flights with British Airways. Once the safari was booked, we looked at entry requirements for Kenya. After a lengthy online process, we filled in the visa application and paid £54 for both of us. We also discovered we needed malaria tablets, which we got after an appointment in Boots at a cost of £64 per person. These are not available through the NHS. We checked whether we needed any vaccinations specifically for Kenya and found that we'd already had everything we needed from previous trips. Next up, we bought eSIMs so we could have data whilst on our travels. We always use Airalo as we find it works well and cost us only £18 each for 3 GB of data to last our trip. We looked at timings and realised that we'd need to book a hotel when we arrive in Nairobi. We were being picked up at around 6 AM on the first morning of our safari, so we decided to fly in the day before and spend the night in a hotel so that we're ready for an early start. We found a cheap and cheerful hotel for only £30 for the night, which was only 15 minutes taxi ride from the airport, and it turned out to be perfect just to get our heads down for the night. That was pretty much it, or so we thought. When we were picked up by our safari operators, we'd missed the fact that the park fees were not included in the price. A bit of a bad mistake by us, but how expensive can park fees be? Quite expensive as it turns out. We didn't have much cash on us, so we went to a cash point to take out the whopping £571 for the extra fees. This had to come out of the spending money we'd saved, and at the time we were pretty gutted, to be honest. We couldn't believe we'd missed this. Apparently the fees for all 3 national parks we'd be visiting had recently gone up a fair bit, and handing over that cash was a big blow. Luckily, it turned out we didn't need much spending money at all, as accommodation, meals and transport were all provided. The only things we had to buy along the way were snacks, any extra drinks we wanted, water was provided, and for tips for our guides. So the final total was £4,177. Not quite the bargain we had hoped for, with all the little things adding up, but still cheaper doing it all ourselves. And was all that cost worth it? Check out one of our other videos on this trip to find out. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.